Yeah, good evening, everyone. Once again, you are welcome for tonight's class. And
Good evening.
we are trying to study. We'll study 803, MIAD 803, and we'll focus on the module 2 of MIAD 803. And the module 2 of MIAD 803, we only talk about 4 concepts. And for my own personal research, these 4 concepts are very important because they are common in the examination. Like, there is no year you will not see questions coming out from one of these concepts. So I've break down the concepts in a way that we can understand them, and from the explanation, it will be easier for us to get what these concepts are. The first concept we'll talk about this night is the realisms and the foreign policy analysis. So that is what is the belief of the realist when it comes to foreign policy? What is the process? What is the concept? Or what is the assumption of realism when it comes to foreign policy analysis? So what you just have to note is that realism is the oldest forms of theories in international relations. Even before we talk about the liberalism, constructivism, or the project theory, or before you think about any other theory, realism has been in existence. It's as old as foreign policy is. Understand? So the realism is grounded in the belief that the realists have 3 major beliefs. Like, they have 3 major beliefs when it comes to foreign policy analysis. And the number 1 belief of the realist or realism is that the international system is anarchical. Or let me just put it like this: the international system is anarchy because there is no central authority that exists above the state. Let me repeat it. The realism believes that the first belief of the realism is that the international system is anarchic or is anarchical. Understand? So when you say something is anarchy or anarchical, you make reference to disorderliness. Let me just put it like that. That there is no plan, there is no rules. People do what they want to do. Understand? So it is believed that the international system is anarchic, and there is no central government that is above the state. Let me just take an example. Like Nigeria as a country. Nigeria is a state. Yeah, we have Benin Republic, we have Togo, we have Ghana, we have all these states, all these countries. There is not one country that is above all these countries. That is, maybe you take, for instance, now, in a classroom, let's just imagine that we are in the classroom and we take someone as a class captain. You get? So, when you take someone as a class captain, the class captain can make order in the classroom. So that means for order to come in the classroom, the class captain will make an order. That means for you not to be in disorderliness, the class captain, which is a central government, have to make an order. But in the world, in the political sphere, they realism believe that there is no single government that can control all the government. That among all the countries in the world, there is no country that is regarded as a class captain. No central government is above all the states. So that's number 1. It is anarchical. That's the first belief. The second belief is that the state is the primary actor. The state is a primary actor in international affairs, and they act to secure the survival, power, and national interest. Like, the state is a primary actor in international affairs, and they have to secure the national interest, the survival, and power. Let's take an example now. Today we talk about United Nations organization, we talk about ECOWAS, we talk about all these organizations. But to the realism, they believe that this organization doesn't count. To them, they believe that this organization doesn't count. because they believe that the state is the number one. So without the state, this organization cannot exist. And the state is in confrontation with how to secure its national interest, its power, and its survival through security. So to the realism, in short, what I mean to the realism is that we to them is that we, in our own sense, is we focus on state as a primary actor in governance in international affairs, not international organization, not pressure group, not how do you call political party, but the state itself as a whole being the primary actor. Because without the state, all these international organizations will be nowhere to be found because they indirectly represent the state. Understand? What the third belief of the realism on their own part is that power, understand? Power, especially military force, military power, is the most important currency in international politics. Meaning that to them, power is the primary, how do you call, primary goals or primary currency that you can have in international politics. If you don't have power, you become, how do you call, you become like a toy in international sphere. Imagine the United Kingdom, sorry, the United States of America giving order to Nigeria is because of power. So to them, they believe that power, the power you have will determine your capacity or your level in international affairs. If you don't have the power, you will not be able to negotiate to a certain level. Your decision will be influenced. So power, and they quote it power, especially the military power. Understand? The kind of power you have that is militarily will make other people to give you the respect you deserve in international sphere. So these are the three beliefs of realism in question when it comes to international politics. Again, so to them, in short, realism. Sorry, I just moved him. To them, in short, they believe that realists are sure that they assume that conflict is inevitable. Understand? They agree that conflict is inevitable because states cannot fully trust one another. Conflict is inevitable because states, when we talk about state here, we talk about countries. And there's another name for state here is country. So they believe that states cannot trust each other. So, but once you have your military power, you will be able to make impact. Understand? Recently, the Russian president was telling the European Union that if you are ready for war, I am ready for war. Imagine one country facing 27 countries. So they don't trust each other, but that one country, the 27 countries are afraid of the one country. So it is the belief that the military prowess you have will determine your influence in international politics. Understand? So this is the belief of the three beliefs of how do you call the realisms in question. Now, we just want to let me proceed to the key assumptions of realism. Key assumptions. What do they assume? What is their own? We talk about belief. Although the belief is that what they think international politics is or foreign politics is, that is how do you call the first thing we're talking about. But now we're going to talk about key assumptions of the realism in terms of foreign policy. There are four assumptions. You get the realism are four assumptions. The number one is the same thing we've mentioned is anarchy and self-help. They believe that because there is no central government, the world doesn't have a central government. The state operates in self-help. Each state, each country operate on their own. They operate on their own. And each state must rely on its own ability to protect its sovereignty. You are not relying on another country to protect your sovereignty. You protect yourself. Understand? So I take an example of, let's imagine a classroom. You have 20 students in a class. Let's say you have 54 students in a classroom. Understand? And inside the 54 countries, 54 students in a classroom. We take the classroom as Africa with 54 countries. So if you want to maintain decorum in a classroom, normally they believe that there should be something that should pressure people in the classroom for them to maintain decorum. Understand? It can be an international organization, it can be how do you call it, central government, a powerful country, or it can be let me say, it can be anything, pressure group or political party that will just pressure people in the classroom to keep short. But so far as that we don't have a central government that put pressure on people to keep short, that means the world to them is anarchical. Everybody is free to do whatever he can do. Just make sure that you protect your sovereignty. Look at Africa. We don't have a central government in Africa. 54 countries, we don't have central government. So what is happening in how do you call Mali, Togo, Burkina Faso, Niger, Benin Republic? No government, no country can just get them there, keep short, and they will keep short. No, because the world itself doesn't have a central government. Understand? So that's the first assumption of the realism. The second assumption of the realism is that state as a rational actor. The state is known as a rational actor. The state is known as a rational actor. So, state being a rational actor in international affairs, they tend to calculate the cost and the loss before they take any actions. Understand? Before the state act in international affairs, they calculate both the cost and the loss, what they will gain and what they will lose at the end. So today, a country will not tend to interfere in international matters without calculating what they are gaining or what they are losing. As we are talking today on the 8th of December, our foreign minister is currently in Doha, in Qatar. So assuming that he calculates that, okay, I want to go to Doha for international affairs. If I go, I'm not going alone. I'll go like with 4 or 5 people in my office. How much will it cost us if we don't have the money? But at the same time, if you calculate the money, you also calculate the benefit. The people is going to meet there, the impact they will make in Nigeria, foreign affairs. So the state on their own, they are rational actors in international affairs. They decide what is useful to them and what is not useful to them, what they can gain and what they can lose. So if they see that there's opportunity somewhere, they go there. That is why you see some countries, they are very weak when it comes to some decision, because they see threats everywhere, they see danger everywhere instead of opportunities. So if you say our foreign minister going to Doha in Qatar today because he sees opportunity there, he believes that he will meet different how do you call ambassadors or different foreign ministers from other countries and initiate conversation with them. Because any opportunity you have to be in a garden of high influential people, you initiate conversation, you try to make contact, you try to make influence, you try to let them come to your country and invest. So the state will calculate its cost, its losses, opportunity, and threat. So depending on that one, before they make any action. That's the second assumption, key assumption of the yeah. Third key assumptions of realism is that the national interest, the national I don't know if she's talking. The national interest. The third one is national interest. So they believe that foreign policy is primarily guided by the national interest, which is usually defined by security and power. They believe that foreign policies or foreign policy is primarily guided by the national interest, understand? Which is usually defined by security and power, which means that in political affairs, international political affairs, security and power matters most. Protecting your sovereignty, assuring that you don't have internal and external attack. That is security. That's number one. Because once other countries sees that you are having both internal and external attack, they see it as weak. Your national interest will be shaken because they see that you are not able to protect yourself internally and externally. So at the same time, they also say power matters. If you are able to protect your international, if you are able to secure and protect your sovereignty, both internally and externally, you will automatically have level in international affairs. Power, you'll have the power. You understand? So, each government have that national interest of protecting the life property of people in the country. But to what extent do they protect the life and property of people? Listen, so if you fail in that national interest, automatically your how do you call it? Your international power will be shaken. Other nations will be seeing it as things are happening in Nigeria. It's going through the news. They are seeing it. Listen, so if an ambassador from a foreign minister from another country want to influence us, it's very easy to influence us. He can just promise us ammunition that Nigeria, I can help you solve this insecurity in your country. I'll provide you ammunition. In return, Nigeria will compromise some things to them because they see that is our weakness. They enter it through our weakness in us. So they believe that the national interest remain the primary focal view, but at the same time, if you are pursuing the national interest, the goals in the national interest is the security and the power. Listen, you have the security and you have the power. While the fourth one, which is the security dilemma or dilemma, the fourth one is security dilemma. That's the fourth assumption, security dilemma. The security dilemma, the realism believe that when a country increases its security spending or budget, others feel threatened automatically. When a country increases its security budget or spending, let me just put it like that, spending or budget, other countries automatically feel threatened and respond similarly, creating cycle of tension. Let me give you an example now. North Korea. No, let me leave North Korea. Let's say China. When China in September, if I'm not wrong, September or August, when they did the annual march, where they march, all the soldiers in China, they gather together and they do annual march. It was a way to send signal to other nations in the world that we are soldiers, we are not fighting anybody, but we are soldiers. If you fail, if you try to attack us, we will retaliate severely. As other nations are seeing, and they make it to be live, they broadcast it live. So as other nations are seeing the armies, the soldiers these people have, they also will be planning to tighten their security, getting more ammunition. Because it is believed that if you slip up and other nations have more security, more military power than you are automatically being in danger. Today, Russia, it's easier to say that Russia is a fearless country. If Russia as a country is trying to face 27 countries in Europe, that if 27 countries in Europe face him, they will retaliate severely. So if one country is telling 27 countries like that, you should know that they have something they rely on. You understand? You should know that they have something they rely on. Am I communicating? Am I communicating?
Yes, you are.
Yes, we can hear you, Mr. Abdul.
Thank you very much. So,
Yes,
in short, realism in policy, in foreign policy in practice, it's just grouped into three. But all these three will just come under the four
yes, you are.
I mentioned. Understand? So I'm sorry. This boy is stopping me. So realism explain why a state.
Your baby is so cute. I can't keep it. I'm sorry.
Thank you very much.
So cute, baby. Yeah, you don't want me to focus, so she's the one I'll be looking at.
She's so cute. Tabarakallah, mashallah.
Go. Sorry. You don't want to go. Sorry. Please come and take him, please. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. So they believe that realism explain why states build strong militaries. It explains to us why states must have perfect militaries, because if you don't have perfect military, other nations will override you. So you need to build your military. That's number one. And the realism explained to us why alliance shift based on national interest. Listen, why alliance shift based on interest? So I said that national interest is a focal point to realisms. So they believe in that. Yeah, they believe that your national interest matters most. So based. Please, 1 minute. Let me just take it out. I'm very sorry. Now, I was explaining that the realism, they believe that the realism as a theory, it explains why country build or have more military power. You understand? So you'll be wondering that why is North Korea always having, why are they building nuclear weapons? Why is Russia having nuclear weapons? So you'll be wondering that why is Russia having all this ammunition? Why is America having? So realism explain that one to us. You get another one is realism explain why alliances shift based on the national interest. Listen, if you are interested in having power, you know where you know which country you need to align with. Understand? So like North Korea today, they will not align with America. They will prefer to align with another country. Why do they align with another country? Why not America? You get? So this realism explains to us that based on your national interest, if you have common enemy, you align together. If you have common goals, you align together. Your national interest will shape where you align with, who you sign alliance with. Understand? So realism also explains to us why competition, how do you call it? Competition, deterrence, and balancing behavior are common. Competition is, to them, they believe that we are in a competing world. We are in a competing world. Countries compete together. You compete for military power, you compete for influence. So to them, the world we have is a world whereby we don't trust each other. So we don't trust each other. They see each other. One country A cannot trust country B. Understand that? So what is happening in Benin Republic today? Yesterday there was an aborted coup d'etat. So assuming that if Nigeria sent soldiers there, Nigeria sent Air Force soldiers there. So imagine that you'll be asking yourself, what is Nigerian problem with Benin Republic? We are having our own internal crisis. For God's sake, why is Nigeria sending? So it is just a way. It's realism explained that part to us that it's our national interest, which is security. We need to protect our land. If we sleep over and the coup in Benin Republic is successful, there are tendency that it will enter Nigeria. And so Nigeria have to make sure that it is not successful in any way. You understand? Am I communicating? So this is all about realism as a concept in foreign policy. You just have to know what it stands for, its key assumption, and if you can just give examples on it linked to contemporary world politics. You will just be wondering why some countries have more military power than others, why some country has more influence than other countries. So this is about how do you call realism. Now, on the other hand, we have liberalism. That is the second concept: liberalism and foreign policy. Liberalism and foreign policy. Can I proceed?
Yes, you can.
Yes, please.
Yes,
Thank you.
please.
Now, liberalism and foreign policy. Now, on the realism is telling us that the world is very competitive. The world the world we have is a war front that we don't trust each other. But on the other hand, liberalism is just coming to antagonize what realism stands for. Anything realism stands for, liberalism antagonizes it. Understand? So the primary belief of liberalism is that there can be peaceful coexistence, peaceful coexistence or cooperation is possible among nations. That's the primary belief, that countries can live together, we can coexist together, we can work together. Understand? But we need to set some things down. Without setting these things down, we cannot live together. That is the problem of realism. Realism believes that we cannot live together. We don't trust each other now. Your own interest is different from my own interest. That is realism. But this one, the liberalism says that even though we have different interests, but we can come to a boiling point whereby we talk together and find a solution. Understand? It highlights four major beliefs. Understand? The belief is, number one belief is the role of international institutions. Understand? Like the United Nations, the ECOWAS, the African Union, the EU. What role do they play in international politics? Mostly they play mediation roles. They play cooperation roles. They find solution to problems. So to them, it is believed that the international institutions, they tend to find solution to problems in international spheres. But you remember that realism did not mention that one. Realism said that we should just get our ammunition. Let's get power. Let's get security. That is realism. But this one said that there can be peaceful coexistence with this international institution. That is number one. Understand? The number two is that the influence of international law. There is one Yoruba word that says a country that doesn't have a law, that doesn't have sin. And so there's a Yoruba proverb like that if there is no law, there is no sin. So if there's international law that binds countries together, that means if a country misbehaves, that international law will sanction it, that country. You understand? So they believe that with this international law, all countries maintain decorum. Today, there is law that no country should use nuclear weapons on another country. No country should use atomic bombs on another country. These are international laws. There is Universal Declaration of Human Rights of 1948. These are laws that you must respect. All countries must respect this law. So they believe that before decorum can exist in the world and international politics, there must be international law. The law set the rules and the regulation that all countries must follow, even though you have your sovereignty, but this law is applicable to you. Am I communicating?
Yes.
Now, the third belief of the liberalism is that the power of economic interdependence. Countries depend on each other economically. No country is super rich. You are not super rich. We did it in 809. No country is super rich. Even if you have ability to do everything, you need to depend on another country to get something. You bring us something out, they bring in something in. That's why we have the concept of import and export. So far as there is import and export, that means you are transacting with another countries. So far as you are transacting with another country, cooperation and peace can exist. You understand? So the fourth belief of the liberals or liberalism is that the impact of domestic actors, understand, such as a political party, national group, religion organization, pressure group, NGO, and the like, is very important. Before Nigeria takes some decision in international spheres, international politics, they consider international goal. What do Nigerians think? What the pressure groups think? They will not take a decision that will affect the majority of Nigeria. Because, you know, the realism say that the state only is the primary actors. But these people say, no, state alone cannot do it. And when we talk about state, we talk about the country. When we talk about the country, we talk about the government. That is the belief of the realism. But this liberalism say, no, state cannot do it alone. State need people. It can be political party. It can be pressure group. It can be international organization. It can be, how do you call international laws to make things happen. The state cannot do it alone. To me, I would say liberalism is more democratic, while realism is military. Because realism focuses on the power, security, army. But on the other hand, let me just move this person. On the other hand, the liberal, they say, no, we not the state alone can do it. The state alone cannot do it. The state needs one or two people to work together for peace to coexist, both internal peace and external peace. Understand? So for liberal, foreign policy is shaped not only by military power. They say it's not only by military power that foreign policy is shaped, understand? But by law, norms, economic interest, national interest, and moral values. So to them is that say these liberals, they totally against the beliefs of the realisms. They totally against it. Like it's what an opposite. They believe that we can coexist together. In international affairs, we need law. We need although we need military power, but that should not be the first interest. But we need law. We need how do you call norms? We need economic interest, national interest, moral values, because that will help us to understand the international politics. Understand? Now, the key assumptions of liberalism. There are 4 key assumptions. For my definition, for my explanation of the beliefs, you can get the assumptions there. Understand? So when you find yourself in the examination, you should not be panicking. If you believe, you remember, just put believe. It's enter. Understand? Now let's key assumptions. Number 1 key assumption is that interdependence reduce conflict. Interdependence reduce conflict. Now, it means that if
Sorry, I didn't get that. Interdependence what?
reduce conflict.
Reduce.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
If I depend on you to get cocoa, and you depend on me to get crude oil, we will not fight. I need cocoa. I need cocoa. You need crude oil. We will not fight. We will just be doing our business. But if we don't depend on each other, we just stay on our lane. Everyone just stay on his own. That will be a problem. You'll be thinking that you are bigger than another person. Another person also will be thinking that another country will be thinking that it's bigger than you. But so far as no country can live in solitude, in isolation, so far as you have to interact with another country to prosper, prosper. So, is it prosper? Is prosper an English word?
Prosper.
Sorry, I just use French language to pronounce it. I'm sorry.
Prosper.
Okay, prosper. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I just so to prosper.
Prosper.
So far as you know that you need another country also to survive, you will also find a way you'll find a way to maintain peace. You don't want to fight with other countries. So interdependence of country reduce conflict. Countries that do business together, countries that have shared interest together, they don't fight. Understand? That's number one. Number two, key assumptions of the liberalism is that international organization promote peace. International organization promote peace. So this institution help state-shaped negotiate, resolve dispute, and reduce uncertainty. They help the state negotiate, find solution, resolve peace and uncertainties, resolve conflict and uncertainty. Today, this week, the news that shook us was on Sunday, where Benin Republic, they were being attacked by some soldiers. They want to do military coup d'etat. So, if not that ECOWAS intervened earlier, I believe that once, as they failed the first attempt, they will have tried another attempt again. But what ECOWAS did, ECOWAS immediately called for security meeting. Immediately, as they had the information, they get the information, they immediately called for security meeting. And what did they discuss? In the security meeting, they asked Ivory Coast, Ghana, Sierra Leone, and Nigeria to send soldiers to Benin Republic, with immediate effect. You understand? Although on social media, if you're on social media, you just be seeing that some people will saying that people are happy that Nigeria go and save Benin Republic, but they are afraid for Donald Trump to come to Nigeria. It's a different case. If you are studying international affairs and diplomacy, you should know that it's a different place. It's a different case. The difference between Nigeria and America is thousands of miles, but the difference between Nigeria and Benin Republic is just like footstep. If you're in Seme border, you can just trek to Benin Republic from Nigeria. So imagine that anything happen in Benin Republic, it will automatically affect Togo, that is beside Benin Republic, and Nigeria, that is beside Benin Republic. So to save us, they send soldiers. So this international organization that exists, they are not there for figurehead's sake. They are there to maintain peace and order. Understand? That is the second assumption of the liberalism. Understand? The third assumption of liberalism is that democracies are more peaceful. Democracies are more peaceful. Democracies are more peaceful. It is believed that countries that have democracy have lower tendency of fighting. So, to them, they promote more democracy. They promote more democracy than military regime or authoritarian regime. That is why you see that Jonathan was sent last month. Goodluck Jonathan was sent to Guinea-Bissau because there was coup there. That is why you see that ECOWAS sent some people to Mali in 2023. They sent some people to Mali and Burkina Faso and Niger, because they believe that if we are more democratic in our region, there will be peace. But because some of the people are, some people are not, some people are democratic, some people are military, there will be conflict interest. You understand? So that is the third key assumption, that they promote democracy belief, because the theory of democracy says that there should be peace, which there should be a boiling point whereby after we fight, we sit down, we understand ourselves. Understand? Why the fourth key assumptions of the liberals or liberalism in international foreign affairs is that multiple actors foreign policies. Multiple actors shapes foreign policies. Understand? So in realism, it is stated that it is only the state as an actor that shape foreign policies. But in liberalism, they are telling us that multiple actors shapes foreign policy. Chikena. Because they believe that President Tinubu cannot do it alone. If problems up in Nigeria today, Tinubu cannot do it alone. He has to call upon some people. As problem is stopping in Benin Republic, the president of Benin Republic, President Patrick Talon, has to call for help from other countries to come and help him because he cannot do it alone. If he wants to do it as a realist, or in a realism way of doing, he will not call on ECOWAS. He will just face his problem. But because he wants to apply the liberal way of doing things, he call on Nigeria ECOWAS. ECOWAS organize a meeting and they send people, soldiers to come. Am I communicating? So those actors can be NGOs, can be a religion organization, can be multinational corporation, can be citizen, public opinions. You get? So these actors matters most. I'm sorry, I want to just mention something sensitive now. I'm sorry, do not be offended. You know, they are talking about Christian genocide. When they call our foreign minister to come and talk last month, the people that was asking in question were making reference to some pastors in Benue State. They were making reference to some pastor that they burned the church of that pastor refused to leave that. So that means that citizen alone, him alone, that sole pastor alone, has indirectly influenced the way international community sees Nigerian and Christian genocide topic. So the government cannot do it alone because it has multiple actors influences foreign policies. You get it? So let me just give you an example now of of liberalism, of how it functions now. We have the ECOWAS. Yeah, let me just move this person. We have the ECOWAS as a body, as an international institution. So the belief of ECOWAS is finding diplomatic way to resolve conflict. Finding diplomatic way to resolve conflict. That is why you will see that anytime there is problem in West Africa, ECOWAS will immediately respond. They will not let it stay with it more than 24 hours. They will immediately respond. Look at what is happening in Benin Republic. And I'm just making reference to it because it is just recent. Our Air Force from Nigeria, they took fighter jets, they go to Benin Republic, they strike. It is on social media, it is stated that they strike 3 times. After that, they all come back to Nigeria. That mission accomplished. That is what they went for. They nothing more. So that is what they went for, nothing more. You get? So because the ECOWAS sent Nigeria to control the air, why it sent Cote d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast, Ghana, and Sierra Leone to control the land. So when Nigeria finishes its work, those other countries, they maintain the land, they maintain the borders of Benin Republic. If you remember in MIAD 801, when Israel strike Egypt and Lebanon and Jordan, the first thing they do is they secure the air. So they believe that once they secure the air, Egypt will be powerless. So that is why the Nigerians have to send force, the Air Force, that Air Force will just strike first. If Air Force try and clear the land, then other countries can now push forward. That means Benin Republic as a country, they cannot defend themselves alone. They have to call on other nations to come and help them. You listen. Now that's number one. Another example I can give is the AFCTA. Abi? Yeah. ASCFA, yeah. Yeah. Abi, how do you call it? The African Continental Free Trade Area. Yeah, African Continental Free Trade Area. So they operate on the ideology of liberal. Understand now? That is cooperation and shared prosperity. If you are part of this international organization, you know that you are cooperating to make business easier among each other. Understand? So, in short, liberalism helps us to explain why states cooperate, why they obey international law or rules, and why they join multinational, why they have multilateral agreement with countries. I repeat myself. In short, liberalism, they help us understand why states, in bracket, countries, understand why they cooperate with each other. Why countries join international law or international, why they respect, why they obey international law or international rules, and why they join multilateral agreement or sign multilateral agreements. Understand? Because no state can live in isolation. States must cooperate with each other. The same way our class is going. No, I cannot survive on my own. You cannot survive on my own. That's my own personal belief. I don't know whether you have a different belief. We have to depend on each other to survive. And that is how the liberal think. The liberal believe that you cannot survive on your own. You need to depend on another person. Another person has to depend on you. But if you just want to stay on your own lane, you don't want to depend on another person don't want to depend on you. Now, you sabi, if any problem happen, you cannot call for help. Understand? So, but when you have the liberal way of thinking, you believe that if there is problem, if you call on Ademola Omoyeni, if there is problem, if you call on Adebimpe Akintunde, if there is problem, if you call on Akanji, understand? But if you are the kind of person with a realist point of view, you just stay on your own without talking with any colleague. And the purpose of this masters and this distance learning is for you to network with people. Because it might surprise you that some of your colleagues in the next 3 to 5 years, you will see them in the TV and they are representing Nigeria here and there. But if you don't have the networking now, it will be very difficult for you to approach them. That this is not my boy now. Let me call him. People will just how do you know him? Now my boy, don't worry, now my boy, you pick my call. So that is liberals' way of thinking. They believe in cooperation because with cooperation you can help each other. Understand? Am I communicating?
Yes, so.
Now we proceed. We proceed to the third one, which is constructivism. Construction. Constructivism. Constructivism and foreign policies. Constructivism and foreign policies. What is the view of those that are constructivists in international politics? So, on the other hand, constructivism focuses on the power of ideas, identity, the powers of idea, identity, beliefs, norms, and social interaction in shaping foreign policy. They focuses on power of idea, identity, beliefs, norms, and social interaction in shaping foreign policy. You know, the realism, we already know them, cooperation or military. The realism and liberalism, the cooperation, the other one is military. Understand? But the constructivisms, they believe in three major things. Number one, state react or act based on how they interpret the world. The state act based on how they interpret the world. You know, if you want to do your SWOT analysis, you will do your how do you call it? Your strength, your weakness, your opportunity, and your threat. So based on what you think is the opportunity, you react on that one. If you see that there is threat, you react based on that one. Understand? So Nigeria and Benin Republic, wahala, they see that there is threat. Nigerians see that there is threat. That is why they react urgently to protect Benin Republic. Because any problem that is solved in Benin Republic can easily enter Nigeria. Who knows There's maybe some soldiers in Nigeria and they are planning coup. Who knows? But they are just finding the best opportunity. Who knows? So the best opportunity is that Benin Republic should have coup. Cameroon, that is our border, should have coup. Chad, our border, should have coup. Imagine that all these countries that are surrounding Nigerian, they have military system of government. It will be very difficult. It will be very easier for Nigeria to be motivated, and Nigerian soldiers to be motivated. So state countries, they act based on how they interpret the world. You understand now? Number two, let me just give an example. Let me just give you an example now. The majority of African countries, do you know why they support Palestine and why they don't support Israel? Why the majority of, I can say that 90% of African countries support Palestine. But why why are they not supporting Israel? Can anyone tell me the reason? Can anyone tell me the reason? Why majority of African countries support Palestine, not Israel? Let me explain. Let me answer that one for you. Let me answer for that one for you to understand. Majority of African countries support Palestine, not Israel, because of the ideology we have. And what is the ideology? The ideology is anti-colonialism. Most of African countries were colonized by the white men. We know the sufferness. Let me just put it like that. We know the struggle. We know the pains. We know the tears in this. So we are against anything like colonialism again. We want people, all countries, to have freedom. That is the ideology of 100% of African countries. They want freedom for countries. Countries should have freedom. That is why you see that South Africa, they are always fighting that Palestine should be recognized at all costs, because South Africa faced apartheid era. There was a time in South Africa they were having apartheid era. You understand? So because of this ideology, shared ideology of anti-colonialism, because of that one, most African countries support Palestine. Am I making sense? So constructivism on its own part is trying to tell us that you react to what topic, what problem, based on how you interpret them. African countries interpret what problem because they interpret Palestine-Israel problem because this is a Palestine have to have the freedom. This is it. Since 1947 that all this thing has happened to date. They believe that Palestine should have its freedom. So that is the way they see things. So number two belief of the constructivism is that identity influences national interest. Identity influences national interest. Identity influences national interest. Look at Israel today. The Israel security identity make it to be more aggressive when it comes to security. It's Israel, you'll be thinking that Israel is wicked. Israel is not wicked though. We as people studying international affairs, we just have to be diplomatic enough. Israel is not wicked. And I said, because since Israel has been created, Israel has not known peace also. The way Palestine has not known peace, Israel also has not known peace. Because they are fighting war. Since this creation up to today, they are fighting war upon war. So that is why that they have been aggressive. That is the Israel security identity, the national interest. So your national interest, your identity will influence your national interest. They get more ammunition because they've not been knowing peace. They've been fighting war upon war. Understand? In 808, 805. Somebody is asking me that will it ever end? I don't know whether this war will ever end. It will end with the day they give Palestine 100% recognition, but I don't know whether they will give Palestine recognition. Understand? That's the second belief of the constructivism. The third belief of constructivism is that the norm shapes behavior. Norms shapes behavior. Yeah, we in international policy, when we say norms, we mean shared expectations. Shared expectations. So shared expectations. Shared expectations shape behavior. Let me just take this class as an example. My expectation is to see all of you graduate in good grades. Understand? Your expectation is you want to graduate with good grades. That is why you are here. Because we have over 400 student colleagues and we can only see 19 here or 20 here. We have shared expectation. And that shared expectation we have change our behavior to be present at 7 p.m. It might interest you to know that after this class, I will dress up. I'm going out for a night job and I'll come back by 7 a.m. If I come back by 7 a.m., I have work I will do at home 8 a.m. to 4:30. You understand? So shared expectation is, let me just do this thing now. People are expecting me that I should be available. Let me be available for them. And you too, in your mind also, you are saying that I need to study. I have exam. You understand? So we have a meeting point where our interests align. The same thing applicable to countries. Countries have meeting point where their interests align, where they shared, they believe together. Understand? So let's take the case of Rwanda. Understand? You see, Rwanda will go against any country that is in problem internal problem. Do you know why? Rwanda faced in 1994, Rwanda faced a civilian war where they call it the Hutus and the Tutsis. The Hutus and the Tutsis war. The same thing Nigeria faced its own in 1967, the Biafra war. But this one, the Biafra war was even smaller to what happened in Rwanda. If you want to understand what happened in Rwanda, go and watch this movie, Hotel Rwanda. It's a movie that explains international affairs, that explains how the international community acted in Rwanda war. The movie is called Hotel Rwanda. You watch it, you cry, and you understand this concept of consultism. Understand? So it is believed. You see, it is believed that if I have one problem before, let me just make this specific. If I have one problem before and my problem was solved, I will not want another person to have that problem. Understand? I will not want another person to have that problem because I know how it feels. I know the pains. So I will not want another country to have that same problem. Understand? So in short, consultism helps us analyze and understand. Sorry, it help. How do you call it? It help foreign policy analysts to understand why state behave as they do. Understand? It helps them to understand why state behave as they do beyond power and institutions. Because when you want to talk about how state behave within power, we talk about realism. Institutions, we talk about liberalism. But this one helps us to understand why state behave the way they do beyond both liberalism idea and idealism idea. You understand? Am I communicating?
Sorry, I missed the last part.
So I said consultisms, it helps foreign policy analysts. Understand? Like me and you, we are foreign policy analysts. Sometimes we need to talk about topics that is happening in the world. So it helps foreign policy analysts to understand why countries behave as they do. Why countries behave as they do. They behave as they do beyond power and institutions. Because a foreign policy analyst can try to analyze why countries have more armies, why they have ammunition, why they have nuclear weapons. That is realisms. Another one can try to analyze why states like to do business with another state. That is liberalism. But in consultism, it helps us to explain beyond the stage of power and institutions. It doesn't. It helps us to understand, like some decisions are taken by our political actors, our state actors, based on the belief or the norms or the moral views, or understand, or the idea or ideology. I've given an example of why most African countries support Palestine, because we don't face colonialism like Nigeria now, 1914 to 1916. So we will face it, we understand it. So that is why we don't want another country to be under colonialist rule. We don't want Palestine to be under Israeli rule. That is why. That is because it is not about power. It's not about using force. It's not about using international organization, but it's about what is happening to you. The share common view the things that's happening to you, your belief, your idea, your ideology, your norms, your moral view. It shapes how you will think and how you will react. Am I communicating? Can I proceed?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Now, we will go to the last theory, which is the prospect theory. The prospect theory. The prospect theory. The prospect theory brings us to a different field of study. This is where you will see we use psychology in politics. Understand? Because the prospect theory into this psychological dimension into foreign policies analysis. It introduces psychological and when we talk about psychological dimension, we talk about how people think. Understand? So it brings psychological dimension into foreign policy analysis. Here we are not talking about power. We are not talking about institutions. We are not talking about international laws. We are talking about the psychology of those people we call our leader. It argues that our leaders, it has three beliefs. Understand? The first belief is that leaders make decisions based on perceived gain and loss. Leaders make decisions based on perceived gain and loss. I'm doing my class. Let's assume that I'm a leader. If the class continues, if I'm eager to continue the class, I believe that even though I'm losing some things, at the same time, I'm gaining some things. If you continue to attend the class, you also believe that you are, even though you just come from work, you are tired, you want to cook for your husband, you want to eat, you want to rest, even though you know that you have to do all these things, but you are forcing yourself to come and do the class. That means you've calculated your loss and your gain. That is why you are here. The same thing leaders also behave. Leader will calculate the loss and the gain. That is why we come with SWOT analysis. So now, those people that do politics or business, they can understand marketing. SWOT analysis. When you calculate your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunity, and your threat. So if your opportunities, the opportunity we gain is more than the losses, the threat, you move forward. But if your threat is more than your opportunity, you backward. That is why you will see countries. Some countries know they put their mouth in everything because they believe that if they put their mouth there, they will lose many things than gaining many things. You understand? That is the first belief of the prospect theory. The second belief of the prospect theory is that leaders often take greater risks when they feel threatened or insecure. Leaders face greater risk when they feel threatened or insecure. Look at what Tinubu did yesterday. He sent our fighter jet to Benin Republic without thinking twice. It's risk. It is risk. Nigeria have its internal crisis. All these fighter jets we sent to Benin Republic, we need them in Zambia, we need them in Borno, we need them in some part of Nigeria where there is insecurity. But instead of sending them there, we send them to Benin Republic outside Nigeria. It is risk. because we feel that there's going to be wahala. If Benin Republic, if the military took over power in Benin Republic, it will affect Nigeria. Understand? When we feel insecure or taking risks, you just take this leader just take. Understand? This is more psychological. So now, because you'll be in a situation that you'll be at your at the point you don't have to think twice. You just take the decision and move forward. Understand? So the third belief is that leaders do not always act rationally. Leaders do not always act rationally. What does that mean? You see leaders, so you see some leaders, they will take some decision and say, on social media, especially on Twitter and Instagram, you say, some people are just condemning Tinubu that, why do you send fighter jets to Benin Republic? Hey, if the military eventually take power, Benin Republic and Nigeria, they are beside each other. Okay, make them not go bomb Abuja. So later we take decision. The decision they take, sometimes it is not calculated. It is not calculated decision, but they take it based on the perceived intention, how they perceive threats, and how they perceive the gain. So they do not act rationally. When the Tinubu decided decided to send the fighter jet, he did not call national security meeting. He did not call national security meeting. He just called on the naval officer. Is it Air Force? Is it naval? No, Air Force officer, the leader.
Air Force.
Yeah, he just called him in the news.
Yeah.
In the news, that the Oga, he just said that they are just obeying the order from the commander of the chief of army force, which is Tinubu, and that is it. They just obeying the order, and they don't know what is happening. Once Tinubu say go, they go. That is it. So the leader do not act always rationally. They act based on how they perceive threats, how they perceive opportunities. Listen. And it's an opportunity for Nigeria to say that we are still the giant of Africa. I said, because if Nigeria did not show up, we'll be losing integrity. That name giant of Africa will be losing it. So we need to be showing ourselves as a border. Yeah, the Grand Commander. So now, in short, the theory of prospect theory helps us examine or explain why states sometimes behave unpredictably. Why states behave unpredictably. Nobody can predict that Tinubu will have sent soldiers to Benin Republic. Me, I posted on my status. Those people that have my status, that can see my Facebook status. I posted, my WhatsApp status. I posted on my status that as this coup happen, Nigeria go send somebody, go send something. It's because I'm studying this course and I understand how it works. But people that don't study this course, they cannot predict what will happen. So you are studying this course, sometimes there are some topics you just, this is what will happen now. Because you are studying this course. So this course, this prospect theory help us to understand why we cannot predict a state. We cannot predict what a state can do. They can do and undo. Where you expect them to act, they will not act. Where you don't expect them to act, that's where they act. So they can do and undo. Now, the key assumptions of the prospect theory. What is the key assumption? What did they assume? What's their assumptions? Understand? Number one assumption of the prospect theory is leaders evaluate decisions based on perceived loss and gain. Leaders evaluate decisions based on perceived loss and gain. What they mean is that state avoid risk when they are secure. You understand? When, let's say, Nigerians feel that they are secure, they will not send fighter jets to Benin Republic. But they still behave aggressively when they feel that they are losing something important. What is Nigeria losing? That is that regional brother, Egban, Yoruba will say Egban, boy, big brother, the regional big brother. Like Nigeria will lose that regional big brother if Nigeria cannot defend his friend that is Benin Republic, because Nigeria and Benin Republic, they are like this. If you've ever traveled by road, you understand. Traveled by road. I've traveled from Nigeria to Ivory Coast, 24 hours journey by road. So you will know that this border, they are like, you can trek. If you're in the same border, you can trek to Benin Republic. So from Benin Republic, you can, even if you're at the border, you can trek. So they are side by side. So if Nigeria cannot defend Benin Republic, that means they will lose something. That regional borderly integrity, or regional big brother, giant of Africa, they will lose that one. So we calculate the risk and the gain, what we will gain and what we will lose. You understand? So for us to have mouth, for us to have power in the ECOWAS, Nigeria needed to intervene. They needed to intervene, because if we don't intervene, it's going to be a problem now. That ECOWAS headquarters is Abuja now. So he's in Abuja. So we need to intervene. We need to intervene so that they can know that we are still powerful. Understand? Number 2 assumption of the prospect theory is that...
May I ask a question, please?
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Since Nigeria is being able to swiftly rescue Benin Republic, why hasn't it taken any action during the coup of Niger, which is much closer? Do you have an idea?
The coup of Niger was not aborted. It was successful coup. So that means that, the reason why they sent for Benin Republic is that the Benin Republic soldiers, they didn't think twice. What they did is that they went to the national TV and they announced that there is power transition without arresting President Patrick Talon, who is the president of Benin Republic. You get? But in the case of Niger, they first go to the how do you call palais présidentiel? How do you call palais présidentiel in English? Like Aso Rock, the Aso Rock, presidential palace. Yeah, presidential palace. So they first go to the presidential palace, capture presidential palace, and go to the national television and declare that the power has been transitioned from civilian to the military. But in case of Benin Republic, they did not capture the national presidential palace. They first go to the national television to declare themselves. That time that they are declaring themselves, listen, it's an opportunity for other people, the other institution, to be preparing against them. So Niger Republic, to answer your question, Niger Republic was successful. The only thing ECOWAS could have done, can do then after a successful coup, is mediation, diplomatic talks. That's mediation. They send mediator there to go and talk. But why they send fighter jets to Benin Republic is because that Benin Republic group was not successfully done. That means that we can still repair something here. If ECOWAS sent soldiers to go and bombard Niger, it will have been fatal, it would have been deadlier. But instead of adopting fighting, it's preferred with adopt diplomatic means, negotiation, mediation to solve problem. I don't know whether you understand. I don't know whether I'm able to explain answer your questions, but in simple terms,
Yeah, very well.
In simple terms, it's because
it is clear. Thank you.
Yeah, it's because Niger own was successful. The only thing they can do is mediating, negotiation, diplomatic talk. But how do you call Benin Republic own was not successful. So that means there's something we can repair something. The repairing is that we go and attack all these putschists, all these soldiers. We go and attack them. We chase them out of the country, or we arrest them. And we secure the both internal and external sovereignty of the Benin Republic. So that was it. Although some people say it's a theory, like let me just put it like it's a plan work by the president, like by the president of Benin Republic. He says it's a plan work that he wants to go for another term, although he has he has announced that he will not go for another tenure, that his 2 term is okay. If you notice now, French countries nowadays now, they are going for more terms. Like Ivory Coast is going for 4. Cameroon, they don't, it's like he's going for his 8 terms. And most of them are going for more than 2. So people believe that maybe he wants to go for another 3rd term. So if he don't like that the country is not secured, he will say he will stay in power until the country is secure. So, but that's what is on social media. So now back to the key assumption of the prospect theory. I've mentioned that leaders evaluate decisions based on perceived threat and gain, loss and gain. That's number 1. The number 2 is that loss aversion, like averting law, deviating lost, deviating lost, and so averting loss, lost rather, LOSS. Leaders are more sensitive to losses than to equivalent gains. The leaders are more sensitive to losses than equivalent gain. Meaning, let's say we have 50 lost and we have 50 gains. Leaders will first go to what will happen if we lost. They will not think about gain. That loss, they will not want that loss to come. So they will do everything to prevent that loss to come. Understand? So if the putschists, the soldiers took over Benin yesterday, ECOWAS will lose another member. You know, they've lost, how do you call, Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso. They've lost 3 countries. Understand? They are losing soon Guinea-Bissau. If they now lost Benin, making 5, that means ECOWAS is losing its power. So they look at the loss first. Let's try to secure our land, though. Understand? It's calculated strategy to know if we can secure the loss, make the loss not happen. The gain, let's forget about the gain later, but let's try to make sure that we don't lose anything on ground. That's the number 2 belief. The number 3 assumption, is we call it framing matters. Framing matters. See, the way you present things as a country determine how countries will react to. We determine how the influence the other country will react to it. So, let me just take an example. North Korea. Let's take North Korea. You know, North Korea has a nuclear program, right? North Korea perceives that the world is not a place we can trust, though. It's not a place we can trust. And so they see risk everywhere. That is why they are keeping ammunitions. That there is risk. If they don't keep all these nuclear weapons, there is risk. America is having it. Russia is having it. Even some Middle East countries are having it. So if they are big, if North Korea is big and they are not able to even have at least one nuclear weapon keep somewhere, that means they are putting themselves in danger. So the way you perceive it, the way they frame it is that if we don't secure ourselves, other people will be, it will be easier for other people to attack us. It will be easier for other people to see us as small. Understand? So there are many examples of such. Let's take an example of Russia. The invasion of Russia in 2022, the invasion of Russia in Ukraine, it can be, according to this story, it can be seen as a response to the perceived loss of influence over Eastern part of Europe. You know, Russia see itself as border, as the way Nigeria see itself as giant of Africa. The same thing Russia also is seeing itself as giant in Eastern part of Europe. So if Russia leave Ukraine to be going just like that, it will just, other countries in Europe will just see like, this country is just weak, is weak. We can attack. But instead of that, what is Russia is doing? Russia is invading Ukraine because they believe that if they let Ukraine go, that's going to be wahala for them. Listen. So these are the 4 theories of Yeah, these are the 4 theories of how do you call foreign policies, how you can analyze foreign policy. The first one is a realism, the second one is a liberalism, the third one is constructivism, while the fourth one is a prospect theory. You get? Now, I'm done with today's class, but before I have a package, before I end today's class, I have a package. I want to share you some past questions where we just talk together. I want you to talk together for each one. I want everyone to talk, please. This one, I just want it to be interactive, please. Let me share my screen. I want to share my screen. Just bear with me. I want you to see something, but I don't know whether is it sharing. Can you see my screen? Can you see my screen, please?
Yes.
Yes,
Thank
yes,
you. Now,
yes.
I want all of you to look at this question, this first page, question 1 to question 6. Tell me which of these questions talks about what we discussed today. Just look at question 1 to tell me
Question
what
3. I
who is
can see question 3.
who is
Number 3.
Question 3.
question 3. Can anyone read question 3 for us?
Discuss liberalism in foreign policy.
Liberalism in foreign policy.
And we discussed about it now. You get, we talk about it
Yeah.
now. So you as part of my revision class, you should know that liberalism is always talking about the roles. Cooperation matters most than fighting. Negotiation matter. Diplomatic does matter than we fighting. And he laid emphasis on institutions, international law, economic dependence, domestic how do you call actors. So you understand that was 2022 or 2022. You get? Now let's move to the second page. Can you tell me which of the questions talks about what we discussed today?
Sorry, please. I came late to
Small.
the class.
Sorry, me too. I want to ask question.
Sorry,
Discuss
this is
realism.
liberalism. Can you share more light on it? Like,
Okay. Let's answer his question. He said, "Can we share more light on it?" I will not answer.
on the liberalism, yes.
Yeah.
Please, I came late,
You don't.
and that's the same
Can we
question
watch
before
the
you brought
video?
the answer.
Watch
I,
the
no,
video now.
I will not answer.
Can we watch the video?
I will not answer this one, but I will want somebody to answer it. Can anyone volunteer to answer it? Just read it as you put it in your notes, please. Can anyone just read it as they put it in their notes?
You just want us to read it or to explain what we understood by it?
Explain what you understand by that liberalism.
Okay, so let me just say the small one that I got.
Okay.
Liberalism is all about cooperation. Like the state cannot do it alone. You need the help of other organizations like other institutions, like international organizations, pressure groups, NGOs, that they cannot work in isolation. Liberalism believe that peace is better than war. They believe that it's better to work together, that you can shape the country together, not working in silo like the realism. That working together is better, that you should negotiate rather than fight, that democracy is better, that to have a peaceful world is better than just fighting, and liberalism is not anarchical.
Thank you very much. It's not anarchical. They believe that there should be a set rule that guide people. So that's about liberalism. So you can also get the video after the class. I will send the video where you can watch it to understand more about it. Now let's go to this page now.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Which of these questions talk about what we discussed today?
Number 1.
Number 1. Can anyone? Is that only number 1, Olin? Is it only number 1?
Okay, I think number 6. Okay, no.
Number
In this level. Number 6.
No, I think number 6.
Is it number 1?
Yes, number 6.
We
didn't discuss here, but it's kind of interrelated because based on the individual and the state.
Yes, that can be explained.
So let's look at the question number 1. Can anyone read it for us?
Discuss realism as a theoretical framework in foreign policy analysis.
Can anyone explain based on his or our own knowledge, our explanation from what we understand by today's class? Anyone should just, based on your understanding, just discuss that one.
So realism, let me try.
Okay.
Realism, they believe that the state is the only actor, and that whatever you're doing must be based on the interest of the state, and it is about power. It is anarchical. That is, no central government is above the state. Then conflict is inevitable too. They believe that conflict is inevitable, and that power is the most important currency.
Thank you very much. So that is just a summary of what the realism believe on. So in the examples, you should be able to just make it. You know, they said 12.5 marks. So you just try to make at least one page. With the one page, you should at least one page. Because on your own page, for you to have the 12 marks. If the lecturer cannot give you 12 marks, at least it should give you 10 or 11, 10 or 9. It's better than you writing half a page and the lecturer give you 5 or 4. You get? So when you
So when you are
Sorry,
explaining this
can
kind
I
of
add
thing,
something to
is
what
it
she
better
said?
to explain the assumptions?
Yes. Because they
We're
say
talking about the realism. You just say what you understand by it, then you write
Hello?
about the assumptions.
Yeah.
At least the book will be full that way. Okay.
Yes.
Because that one, you see, that one is 12 marks. It's different from the 4 marks or 4.5 marks. So when it's 12 marks, they write it comprehensively. But when it's 4 marks, you can just write 2 paragraphs, or you understand, just 4. You know that 4 marks. But when it's 12 marks, make sure that you write it. At least if you are not able to get all the 12.5 marks, you should be able to get at least 9 or 10. So somebody want to add a contribution. I hear somebody saying that. Can I add something? Can I proceed?
Please proceed.
Yeah, proceed, sir.
Now, on this page, which one is talking about what we discussed today?
Number 3, I think.
Yes. Yes, number 3.
Constructivism, number 3.
Thank you very much. 3. Number 3. Can you read that number 3 for us?
Explain social constructivism in foreign policy analysis.
Okay. Can anyone explain this one?
Okay, so
that one?
let me just tell you, this one is a bit, but yeah, you say constructivism is about experience that another state will not want another state to experience what it has experienced before. Then you use the example of Palestine and Israel. Why most Africans support Palestine? Because of what we have gone through. So we don't want them to go through the same thing. Something like that.
Okay. So the constructivism, I just want to add is that they act based on idea, identity, beliefs, norms, social actions. So the belief is that they believe that Palestine, the African country has suffered on colonialism. They don't want another country to what Africa country has passed through. Yeah. So that is why they think that Palestine should be free from Israel. They don't want Palestine because we've suffered also. We understand the pains. You understand? So let's move forward. We can watch the video later. Now, in this page, which of the questions talks about what we discussed today?
Number 3.
Question 3.
Number 3. The question.
Yes.
Look at the year they asked this question. Which year was that? They said January. It was January semester.
January semester.
January semester. When you look at the other one, it was 2023 in May. In May semester. In January.
This question is for last year.
The same year.
No, the same year, 2023, same year.
Okay.
You understand? That means they asked
The
they asked it in May and they asked it in January. But in May, they said explain social constructivism in policy, foreign policy. But in January, they said explain social constructivism as a theoretical framework. But in the other one, they did not put theoretical framework. So you should not be confused. You understand?
It's still the same thing, yeah?
Yeah. Same thing.
Okay.
Now, in this page, which of the questions talks about what we discussed today?
Number 3.
Number 3. This one comes out every year.
It comes out every year. You can see that January 2023 weekend. It's like maybe they put the question 2 times. Like they print 2 questions. Maybe those in Lagos, those in they have different questions, for instance. So you can see that social constructivism. You can see it occur again. You understand?
Again.
Now let's move forward without wasting our time. Let's look at this page. Which of the questions talks about what we discussed today?
Number 3. Number 3,
social constructivism again. No, it's still the same thing as what I just repeated. I don't know why I repeat this. Wait, I'm coming. January semester. Okay, I just repeat this one. Let's look at this one.
Number 2.
What's the number 2 saying?
Discuss with relevant examples realism as a theory of foreign policy analysis.
Realism as a theory of foreign policy
analysis.
Yeah, son. So that's what we discussed already. Realism, son. So you'll be wondering why is Russia having all these weapons, or is North Korea having all these weapons, or America getting weapons again? So, or why is countries trying to get military power? Listen, so you can give example based on what you understand on what is happening in international contemporary world politics. You get, so they said with examples. So it's advisable. It's advisable you give contemporary example, like what is happening, what you know that is happening in the world, and you already know that realism talks. How do you call it? The state actor government is a bit military. It's a bit military. So you should know how to get your example. Now let's move to here now. The following one.
Wait, you have to use Ukraine and Russia as example in this case.
Ukraine and Russia, it will depend how you explain. You understand? This is social science. In social science, there is no perfect definition. There is no perfect explanation. It depends on how you analyze it. So you can use them as an example, but it will not depend how you will explain it. You understand now? So social science is objective, not subjective. You can have different point of views. Your point of view might be different from mine. So now let's continue here. It says, which questions talked about what we discussed today? This one is tricky.
Number 5.
Thank you very much. Number 5. Look at how they write that question. Discuss the realist worldview of
relevant examples.
Not the realism again.
Examples. Discuss the realist worldview of foreign policy.
Yeah, they are just talking about realism.
Yeah.
But they take the question for you. So in January 2023, weekend groups, and this one that we talk about critically, where we talk about discuss with relevant examples, September 2022, discuss with relevant example, realism as a theory of foreign policies. And yeah, so you see, you can see here that it's a bit different. You can see, but it's same question, but the way the right answer asks the question is different. You get? Now, the last page I have here, you can see here. Can anyone tell me which one talks about what we discussed today?
Number 3.
Number 3. What is number 3 telling us?
Evaluate the main assumptions of prospect theory in foreign policy analysis.
Thank you very much. That's the last thing we talk about today. You understand? So let me stop sharing. I want to share another page. It's already 8:39 in Nigeria. So, screening, broadcasting, just okay. So, you've seen that in all years, from 2022 to 2024, they've been asking these questions, which means that you cannot escape it.
Yeah.
You understand? You cannot escape it. If you don't understand the class, I beg you, watch the video again. You understand? You cannot escape question on this one. Listen. Now, I want to share another page. I make something simple about let me come. I just want to just bear with me. I'm sorry to keep you too long here tonight, but just bear with me.
We should be telling you we are sorry because you are still going.
Exactly, because you're taking your time and you're still going to work.
Exactly. And you are still going to work. Please.
Night work. I'm coming. Let me just bear with me.
Please, sir, you made mention on the group that you compiled some questions, some matching questions, and how to answer them.
This one is my own personal something, but I'll just show you. I'll just show you here. I don't want to share it with everybody, but I'll just show you here.
But you are dropping the video anyway, so everybody will see.
Yeah, you can watch the video.
Okay, so those questions, you're not sharing it. It's not for everyone.
Yes, let me just say yes.
The one you were teasing us that for those that are not present, you will not give.
You know, for some of us, we've always been present too.
Okay, let's look at here now. Let's look at here. You see, this thing is a 29 page. See, it's not bragging, though. I'm not bragging, though, but if you have this thing printed and you read it and you know pass exam, come on, carry me for UK.
Akanji, share with us now.
You know the reason. Let me explain the reason why I'm very, very confident. Is I took the questions from 2022 to 2024, and I grouped them into 9 teams. When I say teams, is that where questions always come, where they always ask questions. 7 teams. I grouped them into 7 teams. Now, we'll first analyze the first team together for you to understand why I'm very, very proud of what I'm doing. Number 1 is the first team is Foundation, Evolution, Pragmatism, Works of Foreign Policy Analysis. So this means this is in module 1. So all questions that comes under it. Look at the question number 1. Explain the 3 major pragmatic work that build the foundation of
foreign policy.
Understand? They comes again, they said, explain the main stages in development or evolution of foreign policy as an academic discipline. That question number 2, they asked this in 2022, 2023, in all years they asked this. January, weekend, weekday, May, September. So they asked it in all years, which means that you cannot escape the evolution of foreign policy in exam. You cannot escape it.
Sorry to interrupt you. Does it mean all the courses, the 5 courses, you compiled everything here?
No, this is foreign policy.
803. This was 803.
Okay.
We are doing 803 today. This is 803. So now you look at that question number 2. Look at the years they asked these questions. Sometimes they ask it in weekend, they ask it in weekday. Those people that do weekday, you understand? Now, I come with the explanation. I explain it, give the meaning of these things. So these ones we've done it in our first modules. You understand? The 3 pragmatic works of that build foreign policy analysis. You understand? That's the foundational work of foreign policy analysis. You understand? That's when you say the foundation work of foreign policy analysis. We talked about the signing the book and it happened in 1954. The decision-making approach, the priori and the actor-specific variables, and so we've done this one. You get now the evolution of foreign policy analysis, the origin, the first generation, the second generation. You get we've talked about that one. I want you to look at this part. Team 2. Team 2 is theoretical perspective of foreign policy analysis. This is what we did today. This is what we did today. You understand? So what we did today, how they asked this question on realism. On realism, they asked question on realism in 2023, in 2022. On liberalism, they asked in 2022. On social constructivism, they asked in 2023, 2022, 2023, both weekend and weekday. And they said extreme prospect theory in 2022. So which means that in each year, this topic is there in exam. I don't know whether I'm making sense, but
yes,
in each year,
well.
this topic is in exam. So there is no way you will read in this topic that you will not find your way in the exam hall. You understand?
Yeah.
So with this one, that's what we did today, and I explained it. I tried to explain it, and I put memorization summary. The memorization summary I put is, if you memorize this part, even if you don't remember other part, within this memorization part, you can develop it to be bulk in the exam, to be more in the exam. Understand? Now, the third thing is levels of analysis and political psychology of leaders. You will see these questions. So in short, let me just cut it. Let me just stop sharing my cut. We are done with today's class. I'm just wanting to prepare you indirectly for exam. So in short, some of the things we are doing, understand? The end result is for everyone to succeed in the exam. So, and you've seen the questions how they are. You will see that today's topic alone, which is only module 2, you can see how it was repeated severally. It was repeated severally and past question, which means even if you don't know anything and it's only today what only you know, and you have your 12.5 marks, it's still better than having 0.
Come a long way.
It's still better than having 0. Understand? So it's better you know how to structure yourself. If you don't understand this video, if you have question, ask question or answer your question. Now, I'm done with today's class. Any question for me before? Please, if you have question that is very sensible, I'm begging you, tell me that it is sensible. I will sensitive rather. It's sensitive, so I will pause the recording, because last week something happened. I was very stressed. Someone called me. She asked me to delete the videos. She asked me to delete the video because she asked a question that is very sensitive, and I understand. So, and I have to find a solution to not delete the video, but I eventually find to remove where she asked the question in the video. So if in case you see that you have any sensitive question that you know is very sensitive, tell me that. Akanji, Abdul, Azeez, pause this video. I'll pause it. So we are here to help each other. So I don't want to put anyone in problem, and I don't want to be in problem. So if any question you know that you will ask that is going to be problematic, tell me. I'll pause the video and we continue. I will not, because I was stressed for more than 24 hours. I was just calling people in Nigeria to see if they can enter my YouTube and solve this problem for me, until I have to call some IT guys that help me resolve it. You understand? So if I was not able to resolve it, I would have deleted the video from the YouTube. I would have deleted it. Understand? But thank God I was able to resolve it without any alarm. So now, any question, observation, suggestion, queries?
Mr. Akanji, well done.
Later.
Please, I have the floor, please.
Yeah, you said you have a question. Yeah.
Mr. Akanji, well done. Thank you so much. You are doing a great job here.
You're welcome, sir.
I must be very, very honest. You are doing a great job here.
Thank you.
I was just trying to, if you can hear me, please.
Sure, we can hear you.
I was just trying to check if, can I go ahead?
Yeah, perfect. You can go ahead.
Oh my God.
You can go ahead. We can hear you.
Okay. So I was just trying to think if you know of the proponents of realism, liberalism, constructivism, and all of them. Are there particular proponents, like scholars, who have contributed to each of these theories?
Yes, there is. I didn't put in my class because I wanted you to just grab the important information, because some people find it very disturbed to memorize people names, to memorize dates and people names. You understand? Some people find it very difficult to memorize it. But in my OBJ that I usually send, things that I didn't cover in my class, such as the dates, the names of scholars, is always in my OBJ. If you've ever attended my OBJ question I sent in the groups, you will see that in the groups I usually send some OBJs, and you will see some question that is only talking about dash this scholar talks about this, and it will give you option. So if you attended the OBJ, some people have already messaged me for the answers of the OBJ. I've given them the answers. So from the answers of the OBJ I'll give you, you will also have an insight of regarding this thing again. So, but from the OBJ, let me just put it, from the OBJ I will send to the group, I will send it this week. You can try to answer it, and then you will see the how do you call this thing there. But there is, they have the scholars that propel them, but I don't want to stress us. Only few people will remember it. Understand? Only few people will remember the names, but many people will remember the explanations we had in this class than remembering a name a particular scholar that talks about it. Do you understand me?
Network is breaking.
Very well, Mr. Akanji. Please, when you drop it, I will go through it.
No problem.
It is after understanding, after your explanation, I have a kind of a full grasp on these theories, because I've really been interchanging them all as well.
No.
So it is after understanding from your explanations, and why not let me just know some of the, but it's okay, when you drop it, I'll go through it.
No problem. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your contribution. Any other question, please? Question, observation, suggestion.
Sorry, Mr. Akanji, please, can you help us drop the module 1 or 803, the recording for module 1?
Okay. After today's one.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Mr. Akanji, my own is more of an appeal. Can you share this like, should I call it slide, this compilation you have?
The past question. I can share the past question.
No, this compilation you have that I said is personal.
No, you mean the past question, right?
No, this one you just
the
compiled
compilation
that you made in teams, in 7 teams.
Guy,
Even if it's just 803.
He knows what you are saying now.
Oh, guy, you want free pass to paradise? Like,
no, it's not so, Mr. Akanji. Even if it's for only 803, because seriously, out of our 5 courses, it's 803 and 801 that I'm finding very difficult to assimilate.
Let's see.
805 is the chief.
How do we do regarding
that one is so much.
request? How do we do request? What do we do?
You just send to each person's WhatsApp what's the name? Yes.
I intentionally, I really don't want to let me just say my mind. I really don't want to share, because I just want to share the past question to you so that you can go over it. I don't want to share the other part. I only want to share with few circles. I just want to share with few circles, because I'm sorry. I'm very sorry for my language. Some people don't know the value of things. Yeah. Some people don't know the value of things. So those people that know, let me stop my